Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, whenever you're watching the show. Welcome back, another season of Three Ball Walk.
Yes, sir.
Bob, Eddie,
Bob, that's
Julio,
right.
and yes, we were renewed, and we got another season. We get to do the show for another year.
Yep,
This
excited.
year, a little different. We're doing the show filming. We're filming in front of a live studio audience.
Yeah.
Applaud. There you go.
So you
And
know there's one person.
One person,
Yeah.
well, at least one person.
At least one.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to actually give away all our numbers because
No, at least one.
we want to be renewed for a third year. If this,
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Goes
that one might not happen.
But spring training started last week. Pitchers and catchers reported about a week ago. Full teams this weekend. I actually went on a little three-ball walk excursion over the weekend just to go scouting and see, talk to some general managers out there to see what was going to be happening, and we'll cover that spring training. And in the second half of the show, Bob wanted to go over a little bit of the Hall of Fame because that happened a couple months ago while the show was in hiatus. And what I wanted to open yesterday and brand new, the rule changes. And now managers point to first base, no intentional walk. Your thought?
Well, did you, in a related story that we'll get to at some point when we talk about college baseball starting already, last night, Texas A&M is down. They play a marathon game. It's a 12-inning game. They're tied at home. Texas A&M ranked top 20. And in the 12th inning, they get guys second and third, so the other team is going to
Intentionally walk the guy.
intentionally walk the guy to make the bases loaded. Two near wild pitches, the third one over the catcher's head to the backstop. Texas A&M scores a walk-off. And I was thinking when I was watching that, that's why that rule should be there. Okay, if you don't want to have it in middle school, high school, Dixie Youth, travel ball, fine.
Yep.
But when you get to the major leagues, you ought to be able to throw four balls relatively quickly out. 14 seconds. I don't know what you can do with 14 seconds, and I don't know what you can do with 14 seconds extra per game. Because that's what it's going to save.
And it only happens once every 2 or 3 games. So every 2 or 3 games are going to be saved, about 15 seconds are going to be saved off of the game.
14 seconds. So 14 seconds you get watching the game. I know that I don't turn off a ball game because I'm like, well, it's 14 seconds over.
Yeah, no, and the other thing, I remember PTI last week when they were talking about it, sits there and says, it's no big deal because it never happens. And the guy actually said, Kornheiser says, last time was probably 1918 where they threw a wild pitch. And on the airs at the end of the show, he sits there, that's one of the airs, he goes, actually it was September 12th was the last time, and it happened twice in August, and it happened 7 times during the season. So it's not like it doesn't happen.
It's just an example of baseball, shooting itself in the foot again. I mean, baseball is one game constantly. Well, if you had football, they're not going to go, well, you know what, the game's a little slow. We're going to give you 1 yard. You're not going to do that. They're going to give you 1 yard on third down.
Are you going to just kneel down
Or
and
kneel
call
down,
it?
yeah,
You call the
it's
game over
ridiculous.
so you start to kneel
Or
down?
basketball.
Save a couple minutes
Save
there.
a couple minutes there.
Yeah, let's just do
Don't
that.
do the kneel down.
And that's why baseball's great because you can't just kill the clock. You can't run the ball into the line or take a knee. Everybody gets their hits. But you got to tell me that.
And I'll give you
You want
one.
to speed the game up. Let the guy stand in the batter's box and quit stepping out every 3 seconds.
Don't know if it was 72 or excuse me, 70.
No more. But he used to do
No,
it.
I want to say it was 7. It was the Reds A's where Johnny Bench reached out and singled on an intentional walk.
Intentional walk.
Got a little too close to the plate.
Yep.
RBI,
I like that.
and that's in the World Series.
In the World Series.
On an intentional walk. Throw the pitches. Don't say
So you're
it's too late now.
all the umpires going to have, all the guys got to do is go put him on, and he's going to rock. He can drop. It's like that's beer league softball.
It is. No, it
Other
is.
people doing beer league softball. Put him on.
You're
And then,
right.
the big burly guy goes, "Ooh," and drops the bat and starts cussing all the way down at you for walking. Because there's no loss, there's no potential there. At least when you're having to throw the ball, there's a potential for a balk to score a run. There's a potential for a wild pitch to score a run. There's a potential, as we saw, for the catcher to throw the ball into somebody's helmet or somebody's bat and the ball get away and score a run. There's all kinds of ways that a run can
Yeah,
score.
but
What about the strategy? Let me ask this question. If you're watching, let's say you got a guy on second, there's nobody out. and you go to four pitches, he goes to first base. What happens if you throw the ball, there's nobody out, and he overthrows the catcher, and the guy now it's third base with nobody out.
Right, now do you intentionally
The strategy is
now you
completely
point
different.
twice.
Now you point twice. Well, you won't be pointing twice because you won't.
Because you actually had to throw.
Because you won't.
It's ridiculous. But at least those people are going to be able to avoid the traffic and get out of the stadium 15 seconds soon. Oh, but everyone else will be leaving.
Yeah, the same thing.
15 seconds
yeah,
sooner.
Well,
so.
it's not the people that go to the game. Supposedly it's about people that watch the game on TV. How many people actually watch an entire game?
I do.
You're not. I mean, but most people do not watch entire
No, they
games.
don't. Most people don't.
So we're not. Baseball's not losing fans because it's 14 seconds
No.
longer on TV.
No.
We're
No,
not.
it's-
That's not the reason why people are not going to
No.
ball games. I'm sorry, that's just wrong. Major League Baseball, and I don't care who you are. I don't care why you put the rule in there. It's a stupid rule, and you ought to get rid of it.
Yep.
No, they won't now.
No, it's like
Now,
like
by next
designated
year, they'll
hitter.
be starting extra innings with a man at second base.
That is in the books. That
But
is
only in the lower
on the
level
minors.
minor leagues.
2018 or 2019.
And
I think.
watch.
Are you
It's
serious?
Yes. Yes. Only-
because these
only
extra inning
after
games, you know.
tax the pitching staff.
Okay.
You know, these
So
guys
now-
make millions of
now,
dollars and can't
think-
pitch.
Ricky Henderson's run scored record could be broken. But you know what?
By a guy starting on second base.
every run that Ricky Henderson scored, he had to get on base too. Now you're going to be able to score a run without having to get on
Yeah,
base.
that's exactly it.
No.
So does that help your on base percentage? You
No, I don't think so.
It's getting on base without an actual
Yes,
plate
I
appearance.
know.
So you get double credit
Double
for
credit.
that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know how that works.
You can get back to 1,000.
if you're just a runner. But if the rule stays the way
Where's
it
her
normally
Washington?
is,
We need him.
it's not one guy gets put there. It's the last guy at bat in the previous inning. So the person who made the last out in the previous inning, unless you pinch hit
Right.
or pitch run for them, which will then
No, it's
Knock 'em out of
actually
the game.
in the minor leagues. The guy who made the last out is starting
at second base.
on first. The guy who made the second to last out is starting on second.
That's not the international rule.
But that's the new rule that they passed.
You sure?
Two guys.
You sure?
The
Two
guy,
guys
and
on?
it's not the last out. It's the guy who directly precedes the guy leading off in the lineup is starting on first, and the guy 2 positions below the guy in the lineup is starting on second.
That should be above, because you're already past him.
If you're going down the lineup, that is correct. You are
Yes.
correct.
Yes.
Yes. So you understand. Yes.
Leave the game
And
alone.
and here
But
and the
that's
reason
crazy.
why you
And
want to know
why do
why.
that? So they don't stand
So
there.
they
and
don't
point.
stand there and point the
get the
first
first
guy
one
to get
first
on
and
there.
second.
They're putting them on at first to begin already. Because think that would probably take a whole nother second to point and have the guy walk down to first base.
What
So
happens if I never get in the box? They can't point for me to go to second, and the guy takes off and steals third.
it's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous.
It's
And-
a
and
dead
what
ball
they're
'cause
doing-
I'm not in the box yet. It was a trick question,
Yeah.
so I
This
stepped in
was
the
a-
box.
Always about the 5th, 6th show of the season is when we have the
Trick
the
question day.
the trick
Yes.
question.
But this is
I
like
wasn't
crazy to
prepared.
begin with. This
You
is-
better prepare
I'm
because I
prepared.
know what happened last
I'm
year.
prepared.
You
I'm
got
prepared.
worked last year.
Yeah, I did.
You got 0 for the day.
0 for the day. I remember. Yes.
You didn't
So-
even get to the Mendoza
but-
line.
No, I didn't know.
But here's the problem with it.
Pedro
and
R.
Yeah,
Luis.
or
I'll tell you.
Mario.
I'll tell you where the problem is, and it happened with the start, and it's been happening a long time. But I really saw it when they repealed the All-Star game.
Thank goodness.
Is now no longer home field advantage. It's now the team with the best record. Which
Again,
before they
yeah.
rotated American League, National League, and whatever.
Yep.
But when they made that rule where the All-Star game was for the home field, that was because an All-Star game ended in a tie. So by making that, then you don't end All-Star games in ties. I never saw how that relationship.
it made it because they ran out of players.
Correct. But they fixed that problem by making the All-Star game.
But the reason why that happened, why they ran out of players, is because if you don't care if you win or lose, you play everybody, you pitch everybody.
Yeah, because
in the
those
first
guys are
9
out there and
innings.
they don't care.
I
Give
don't-
me a break. They care.
Did you watch the NBA All-Star game?
They didn't care.
Okay, and
Major League Baseball's
No,
All-Star
and
game.
the years previous to the time when it became meaningful again, that Major League Baseball game had gone to the same thing. Guys didn't care. They went up and they got
I
their
told you,
hacks. They're trying to hit a home run.
and that's why the best guys are starting, and that's why by the 5th inning, none of the best guys are even in the game.
And
you're
probably not
telling
even
me,
in the dugout anymore.
and you're telling me that now that it's home field, now they're trying a lot more.
I
No.
think they were.
So when do you think? I mean, because
you add a couple more pitchers to the staff.
One of the cool things about YouTube is you can go back and watch old All-Star games, World Series games. And I remember, I can't remember which year it was, but 71 or 68, one of them, Willie Mays plays the whole game.
Sure.
Okay.
There would always be one or two guys that played the whole
And today, though, is it because you think of the money that these people have invested in these guys, that's, I don't want to get hurt, so that's why.
I do, and the same thing with the pitching is, I think the problem of, how do you solve that problem? You add 3 more pitchers to each team staff,
spots.
and if the game goes 13, 14 innings, you got a guy.
Right.
But now
but then what
happens
is you get guys that don't play, and they get ticked off because their contract gives them a bonus if they play in the All-Star game.
That's the problem, and that's why Willie Mays doesn't play the whole game anymore, because the manager's job is no longer to try to win the game.
Right.
The manager's job is to make sure everybody gets in the game.
Right.
It's like Little League again.
And it's still that.
It's like Little League again now, and it will be like Little League again, and it won't matter, and I won't care, and I won't
there's
watch any
no
of
problem, because when you take Willie Mays out of the 4-hole, and then you bring in Tony Perez to first base and put him in the 4-hole, he hits a home run in the bottom of the 16th inning to win the game with a walk-off. You know, so you're putting in stars. You're putting in stars for stars,
but
so
you're
that
not
doesn't
putting
matter.
in stars for stars, because the stars are starting. And it's the guys who are up and coming that are going to play.
I totally disagree with that, and I'll tell you why.
And you know why that is? Because they're not a star yet, because they're not voted in by the fans.
That's
and the players.
it.
So they're not. They don't have the name recognition.
But they're in
because be great players, but they're
in
not
because of
stars.
their accomplishments.
They're not stars.
Not because of the name.
They are
the
not,
guy,
but they're not stars.
Okay, but they're probably. But you're not. You're not making the team any weaker by bringing these guys in off the bench. And in 2017, these guys are probably better than the dudes that are starting.
Could be. We got 3 minutes left. Let's talk for a minute about college baseball, since it has actually started.
Yes.
Games that count are already being played.
Yes.